Hello, I'm Erin Halvorsen, and welcome to Rag Rugs by Erin. If this is your first video, then I welcome you, and those that have watched me before, I welcome you as well. So I wanted to talk about something a little different today. We're not actually going to be making a rug. I wanted to talk about using other materials. You know, most of my videos are on sheets. We use sheet yarn, or we use t-shirt yarn in some cases. But a lot of you use different things or ask me about different things, and I haven't done a ton of experimenting. We have done a denim rug, and that's when I came up with this hook that my husband had made, which is a 21 millimeter, and is for sale on my website as well. But what I really wanted to show you is doing some different things, and I had some things donated and some things I wanted to use, some really thick materials, and how they worked out for me, and also to show you some different hooks. And the difference in sizes and why you might choose this or that. I don't have, I'm not the guru on rag rugs. I just have done quite a few of them and have experimented and tried different things. So I'm just going to give you some information, and my information continues to change based upon my field of experience, and a lot of you share things with me. Also, this video is kind of because I had a call out and asking some of you to give me some of your ideas of things that you wanted to see, and I've got several videos coming out based upon things that my viewers were requesting. They took the time to write to me, which was really nice, and I get a lot of ideas from my viewers, and keep those things coming because they're very helpful. So this rug was done with denim, but it also, I had a bunch of this, it's called rug wool is what it was called, and this was donated to me. It's a pretty thick substance, and I think they used it mostly in braided rugs. But this reminds me perhaps of almost like the felt or something, but it's fairly thick. It's 1.5 inches. It said it was 2 inches, but I measured it. It's only 1.5 inches, but it's really thick. And that's what this blue and these cream colors and these were just some odds and ends that I put in here. Then this material was like something that you put in. This was a 2-inch piece of material, something that you might make a cape out of or a jacket out of that I had bought at a rummage sale several yards just because I loved it, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it, and I'm a quilter, and I kept it forever, and I decided I want to use it. And then the denim. Here, this one has a little bit of a texture to it. This is a 1.5 inch denim that I used here. It's not super thick denim, but it is denim. It is smaller and thinner than some of these other things that I use. But I used this 21 millimeter that my husband made, and we took, I wasn't happy with using some of the ones that I had bought because they came to a point and it made it hard to use, and my arm was getting tired, so he made these, excuse me, with a little bit more rounded edge. And so this is what I used to make this rug. I want to show you the difference of a big thick rug, and this is more of a cabiny kind of rug, of how thick this rug actually is. What does that look like, Lyle, to you? About an inch?
It's 1.25 inches.
Okay, 1.25 inches this rug turned out to be. So this is when you're using thicker materials. This is incredible to stand on. Everyone who stands on it with their bare feet goes, oh. So it's really, really nice. It's for something different, but that's not always appropriate. I live in Florida. This doesn't really go with anything in my home. I was just wanting to experiment with what I had. But let me show you. A lot of my videos, especially my earlier videos, I use something like this, an N or an O hook, which I love very much. But I only used 1.25 inches about strips for something like that, and those rugs lie flatter to the ground, and that's a great thing. That's the ones my mother prefers. She prefers those low ones with the thinner rugs. Those are what she prefers. But let me show you the difference with handling something like that. When you see these two up against each other, and you look at the length, I was noticing when I was using, this is why I stopped using these smaller hooks. Not because I don't like the look. I do. I very much like the look. But you see how you have to hold it, and you really need this throat in order to, when you're making your rugs, you need this part right here, at least to keep it from regulating, or the stitches get too tight. Well, you can see how much room that leaves, and I would get this lot of pain here in my arm, and in my arm up here, and in my wrist, and my fingers, and you know, I'm 51 years old. I'm not too young, but I do have a little bit of an issue with my hands, and some of you may as well. So then I went to something like this, and I was using a bigger hook, which I was using a P and a Q hook. And I like those. You can buy those, very inexpensive. But I was still having issues because they weren't a whole lot longer than this hook was. I actually loaned out my Q, so I don't have one to show you. But this is a P, and this is a 14 millimeter that I had designed for me, and you can see.
You can't see it over there.
Okay.
You got to put it onto something.
So can you see it now?
No, I can't.
All right, we're
Camouflage. There you go.
Okay, let's see. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right. So here is the P or 14 millimeter, depending on which one you look. These are handmade as well, and this engineer makes them for me out on the West Coast. They're not exactly the same, and you can order them from my website. I realize they are more expensive, but he designed them specifically for us. At the beginning, he says, "Why do you want to hook so long?" He didn't understand, and then after several hours with schematics and writing back and forth and hand measurements and discussing what I wanted, and then him doing some demos for me, we came up with this design. Because you can see, my hand is sitting here. This little nub here stops this from going any farther, so it's really comfortable. You have this nice long throat here to help regulate. You still have your hand back here resting. It's not hanging off the edge. This took away all my pain. Now, I don't have shoulder pain, so some people have shoulder pain. This, I don't have it, so I don't know if it affects that. But it did help my hand and my forearm and my elbow considerably. Okay, so this is a 14, which would be a P, but let me show you some other choices. This is a more expensive hook. And you might be able to find something, but not with this throat. I couldn't find it. You can find ergonomically correct hooks that are bigger, but you have this little teeny short thing here, and it doesn't work for the rug, in my opinion. Now, here's the version of the 21, how it's evolved from my originally 21, and you can see they're not exactly the same. This was mine that I used. These are the ones that I like even better, but since I've already gotten dye and whatnot on it, and it takes time to make them, I haven't upgraded. This is the ones that I sell on my site. These are 21s, and that's what this was made with. Here's a 19, so let me show you the 19 in between the two. This would also work in most instances as long as you didn't get too fat. I don't know if it would work so well with the wool, but it would work with the denim, and it would probably work with this other material or thicker sheets. So this is a 19, and you can see they look a little different. So here you've got a 14, which is a P. This is a 19 millimeter, and this is a 21 millimeter. I also have a 20 sometimes, but I can't always get that proper wood for that, so my husband has trouble getting it, so we've got access to a little bit more, so there'll be some in the next month or two going up on the website again until that sells out. So that would be in between these. So I'm just wanting you to see the difference from what we were originally doing, and I still will do this. I'm not trying to tell you you can't use an N or an O, but you can see the difference of what we're talking about and the comfort level on your arm and being able to. You need this part in order to work the rug properly. You can find other people that manufacture. There's somebody, I keep on seeing someone from England, but then by the time you pay the shipping to get it here and whatnot, it's even more expensive than, quite a bit more expensive than what we're selling ours for. I'm not advocating that this is a necessity. I'm just informing, because people will ask me questions, and it's so hard for me just to write a note to each person and explaining things. But if you can see what we're talking about physically, then you can make a better decision for yourself. And when you start off, just start off with the inexpensive hook. Go to a Q if you want a little bit bigger. See if that's what works for you. When you become an enthusiast and you get addicted to it, as many people do, you may decide to do something different, or if you want a different project, just know that these things are available to you. So I thank you for joining me. I hope that it wasn't too boring, but again, I'm answering questions that people are specifically asking me. So I wanted to share with you, and come join me again. I've got a couple really cool projects in the works. So they may be a few months out, but I'm hoping to share those with you too. All right, you have a great day. Thank you.